Serverless versus containers. Which saves money? Cost hinges on scale. For a 256 millibyte Lambda function running 200 milliseconds at 500,000 monthly requests, Lambda costs 42 cents. Containers on a reserved instance cost $30, a 70x difference. Scale to 5 million requests. Lambda is $8, still cheaper. At 10 million, $17 versus 30. Then, around 20 to 30 million requests per month, the lines cross. At 50 million, Lambda hits $83, containers stay at 30. This crossover isn't fixed. It shifts with memory allocation, execution duration, and pricing models. So, when do containers become the better choice? But first, understand what we're comparing. Serverless computing, event-driven. Functions trigger on events like S3 uploads or API calls. You pay only for execution, with zero infrastructure to manage. Ideal for sporadic workloads, such as image processing when a file uploads to S3. Containerized computing packages apps in isolated environments, giving full control over the runtime. Perfect for long-running processes. WebSocket servers or machine learning model serving, where low latency and constant uptime are critical. Containers excel with fine-grained control and predictable performance. Now, with this context, let's see how cost factors into the decision. Now, how cost drives the choice. Lambda's cost scales with two factors, memory and duration. Double memory from 256 MB to 512 MB, and cost doubles. Increase duration from 200 MB to 1 second, and it jumps fivefold. With reserved instances for containers, common in production, the cost crossover happens sooner. Serverless wins for small teams and unpredictable traffic. Deploy an API in an afternoon without managing servers, saving operational overhead. Containers shine for latency-sensitive applications, WebSocket connections, or ML serving, where you need control, connection pooling, and predictable performance. ECS Fargate offers a middle ground, container packaging without node management at a 20 to 30% premium. So the smart choice often blends both. Often. Therefore, the smartest systems hybridize. Take Shopify. Containers handle synchronous, hot path services, user requests, real-time WebSocket connections, while serverless manages asynchronous tasks, event processing, background jobs. Bridge them with messaging queues, SQS or Event Bridge. But key decision points matter. Debugging serverless is harder. You can't SSH into a function, so distributed tracing with X-ray is essential. Containers offer familiar debugging. Exec into a container for 3 AM fixes. Watch for vendor lock-in with serverless triggers and IAM policies. Avoid common mistakes. Don't compare against on-demand pricing. Use provisioned concurrency for latency-sensitive APIs. And don't overcomplicate with serverless orchestrations when a simple container loop is cheaper and easier to debug. The takeaway: run the math for your workload. Consider the cost threshold around 1 million requests per month. Cold start latencies of 200 and 500 milliseconds for Python node, and the trade-offs between control and management.